Hi there and welcome. It's Jennifer and I hope you're having a great day. I have a product release close-up video for you today. I get a lot of requests for more of these videos, and this one features the newest release from Altenew. Since Altenew is owned by card makers, their stamps are really designed well to work on cards. Just the right proportions, just the right sentiments. So let's dive into the first one. It's Halftone Happy. They've released some stamp sets like this with other words in the past like hello. So I was glad to see the happy out. Now the best thing about Altenew stamp sets is the sentiments. They always have unique sentiments, and I'm always looking for something different. So you can always get that from Altenew. In this set, you can do a bunch of different sentiments around the word happy. There's the basic things in there like happy anniversary, but then you can build more fun things like you make me happy, hope your day is happy, lots of things that you can build from this one stamp set. Now the two large happy words here are really cool. One of them you stamp and just ink it up as you would a normal stamp, and it is designed to stamp and give an ombre look from dark on the bottom to light on the top. And you don't need any special ink. The stamp does that look on its own, which I really think is fun. This set also includes the outline of the word happy, which you could stamp directly on top of the other or use separately. I look forward to white heat embossing the outline happy word and filling it in with rainbow watercolor. I think that'd be really fun. Next we have the Fresh Freesia. Now this is super elegant, just gorgeous. I know a lot of people struggle with sympathy cards. I do too, but this is a good one for sympathy because you can kind of give it a masculine color if you wanted to, or you can make it more feminine. It has the beautiful with deepest sympathy sentiment in here, but it also has some other great sentiments in here. I also like that this large floral image really fills up the front of a card. So all you have to do is stamp that, color it, and stamp a sentiment next to it, and you're good to go. I think it'd be beautiful to white heat emboss this image on craft paper and add just a little bit of color with colored pencils. Next we have Garden Grow. This is a bigger stamp set. This is 6x8, and I will link below to the pockets that I use to hold these large sets. Now there are so many images in here that you could create a bunch of different looking cards from it. Or you can build a scene. There's the bench. You could stamp that with some flower pots on top, a few things next to it, a bird sitting on top of that. This is great for building scenes. I struggle with building scenes, so this is a good one to practice with because the images are pretty simple. You could color it with Copics, or I think the fun, playful feel of this stamp set would be good for watercolor. So I plan to use this set to get practice with creating a scene using masking. Next is the Wild Hibiscus. This is another larger 6x8 stamp set, so there's a lot of images on here. I really like the artsy look of these images, very unique from other stamp sets that I have. I think these would be perfect for a foiling technique. I've done many videos in the past, which I will link to, on how to use a laminator and embossing powder to create foil looks on your cards. And I'll do some videos in the future on how to do that without a laminator too. But I think these images would be perfect for foiling techniques. You could also ink up a stamp with this, give it a light mist of water, and stamp with it to get a watercolor look. And finally, I really look forward to just stamping a bunch of these flowers tone on tone to create a beautiful background. I also like the sentiments in here. The sentiment that says "we appreciate you" I think is stellar because a lot of times I send cards from the family to someone. So when it says "we" in the sentiment, I'm always excited. Okay, I will admit when I first saw the Raise the Stake stamp set, I was a little confused as to why I would want to stamp a stake. However, the sentiments are incredible. So basically what you do is you stamp these images on top of each other and you get the perfect stake. You can even stamp grill marks onto your stake if you wanted to. Now here's where it's great. The sentiments are fantastic. You can stamp the words "well done" or "rare" into this little sign and have that sticking out of the meat. Then the sentiments that go with that are fantastic. You don't just meet expectations, you exceed them. We're so proud of you, and you stamp "well done." There are a bunch of clever sentiments in here. Perfect for Guy too. I can't wait to create some fun cards to stick in my son's lunchbox. It's a brilliant stamp set. Next we have Baby Zoo. Now I don't make a lot of baby cards, but there are many images in here that are great for non-baby. Now the animals in here are so much fun. My teenage daughter is obsessed with giraffes, so she's really excited about this one. You just stamp the solid image first, and then you stamp on top of it the outline image, which gives it details. There are lots of baby sentiments in here, but also some that can be used for non-baby, like sending our love and a few others. So I've already used this before on a non-baby card. I just think that giraffe is adorable. And I wanted to show you something real quick. I have a water brush pen here filled with bleach, and I'm painting a little bit onto this stamped image, and it will create highlights wherever you put the bleach as it dries. Now, I just put some bleach in here. I'll rinse it out when I'm done and save it for later. I don't like to store the bleach in there, but I do use this water pen just for bleaching. I just think that's a really great way to add some highlights with only using one ink. Okay, now we have the Watercolor Wonders. This is probably my favorite set out of this release. Now you can see there are some images that are circled together. There's a line around them. That means those images go together and stamp on top of each other to create something beautiful. This is a stamp layering stamp set, and I've done many videos with these in the past. This one gives a watercolor look once it's stamped. Now there is a guide that comes in the packaging, and you just line up the little marks when you go to stamp one image on top of the other. You just use the guide to help you. I will link to a video where I use this stamp set to get a fun watercolor look. The guide really is helpful, and I like that they have it inside the packaging of the stamp set. Here are the cards that I made, which I will link to the video. I also think it would be fun to ink up these stamps, mist them with water, and then stamp them to get a really beautiful watercolor look. That brings us to Golden Garden. This is another large 6x8 stamp set. I am really excited about this one. There are a few stamp layering images on here that you stamp on top of each other, but it's very simple and it gives an artsy, fun look. Now, I think you really need to see these stamped to really appreciate how beautiful they are. There is a key on the package so you can see how to layer the images together. Now the layering isn't perfect coloring. It's supposed to kind of give an artsy look. I encourage you, if you get this set, to do a Google search on Golden Garden and click the images button and see all the beautiful examples out there, because this is one of those stamp sets you really need to see how it stamps to really appreciate it. I'm going to do one of them here. I'm inking up the bottom of this with some green ink, and then I'm going to ink up the top with some pink. So I'm doing a little two-tone stamping here. And I'm going to stamp this down, and it looks kind of fun as is, kind of hand-painted looking, but once you do the next layer, that's where this really pops. Now you could spritz your stamp first to kind of get a watercolor feel, but I'm telling you, I think this is just beautiful, simply stamped right on top of each other. So now I'm coming with the next image that goes right on top. I'm following the guide there on the left, stamping it right on to the first one. It doesn't have to be perfectly lined up, and check out that cool artsy image. I could never do this on my own, so I'm so thankful that they've created stamp sets that give this look without any effort. This brings us to the last stamp set in this release, and that is the Layered Lilies. Now, Layered Lilies really needs to be stamped to appreciate how beautiful it is. This is a very simple stamp layering set. So if you have trouble with stamp layering sets, this is a good one because it's easy to visualize how to stamp these on top of each other. So I start with the most solid image with the lightest ink first, and I build my way up, getting darker each time. I'm using the Altenew crisp inks because they are available in 4 colors that go together from light to dark, so it takes the guesswork out. So I've used all 4 colors here, and check this out. By just stamping all of these images on top of each other, you get the beautiful results of this layered lily. You could add some heat embossing here if you want to. You could mist your stamp first to kind of soften it and give a watercolor look. The sky is the limit with stamp sets like this. This is, again, a beautiful one if you have trouble with stamp layering sets because it's very obvious how these layer on top of each other. And I think the leaf is beautiful too. You could layer any inks on top of each other for these stamps. I just really like the Altenew inks because it takes the guesswork out of which work well together. So that covers everything in this release. I'm really hoping that this video is helpful in deciding if any of these stamp sets are right for you. I link below to all of the products in my YouTube description and to the videos I mentioned, or you can head over to my blog where I'll be giving away one of these stamp sets. As always, I really appreciate you coming by, and I will see you again soon.